Welcome to episode 20 of Scorned by Muses, the Copenhagen interpretation.
During the 1920s, here at the University of Copenhagen, the physicist Niels Bohr, along with his assistant Werner Heisenberg, developed a radical new theory of the universe. Together, the two men would produce what would later become known as the Copenhagen interpretation, a set of theories about quantum mechanics which would unsettle 200 years of established science about the physical world. The central discovery of quantum mechanics is that our observation of reality changes reality itself. At the atomic level, it's impossible to distinguish in the customary way between physical phenomena and their observation. Or to put the problem in philosophical terms, subject and object are mutually determining.
Why am I babbling on about physics? That's because the thing that interests me about quantum mechanics is the same thing that interests me about modern art. Modern art, by rejecting representation and relying on nothing but its own materiality for the source of its meaning, also puts human subjectivity at the center of reality. Both quantum mechanics and modern art reach a similar conclusion in the 1920s. Art and science come to reveal that even nature itself is a totally human invention that does not exist outside of our own subjectivity.
Stephanie, I'll show you outside.
Yeah.
The key.
We happen to be in Copenhagen for this episode thanks to an invitation by Theodore Neimark of Salon 75 Gallery. He's invited us here to screen our film Goodbye Art. You'll see a bit of the Q&A for that film later on. We'll also tour some of the galleries, museums, and DIY art venues in Copenhagen. But first we wanted to inhabit the minds of the physicists Bohr and Heisenberg. So we staged a little scene in the backyard of Theodore's parents' house.
You see what we did in those 3 years, Heisenberg? Not to exaggerate, but we turned the world inside out. We put man back at the center of the universe. Throughout history, we keep finding ourselves displaced. We keep exiling ourselves to the periphery. First, we turn ourselves into mere adjuncts of gods and noble purposes. Tiny figures kneeling in the great cathedral of creation. And no sooner have we recovered ourselves in the Renaissance. No sooner has man become, as Pythagoras proclaimed him, the measure of all things, then we are pushed aside again by the products of our own reasoning. We are dwarfed again as the physicists built the great new cathedral for us to wander at. The laws of classical mechanics that exist whether we exist or not. And then we come to the beginning of the 20th century. We are suddenly forced to rise from our knees again.
Starts with Einstein.
Starts with Einstein. He shows that measurement on which the whole possibility of science depends. Measurement is not an impersonal event that occurs with impartial universality. It's a human act, carried out from a specific point of view in time and space. From one particular viewpoint, of a possible observer. And then here in Copenhagen, the mid-20s, we discovered there is no precisely determinable objective universe. The universe exists only as a series of approximations, only within the limits determined by our relationship with them, only through the understanding lodged inside the human head.
One easy way to make your film cool is to make it black and white and negative. Yeah. That's a great trick, kids, in case you didn't know in case you didn't know that one.
I think subtitles is also a great move.
Subtitles is also a great move.
Poetic stuff.
Yeah. Some incoherent poetic subtitles. That's always a good move.
Now that we've set the mood, let's get on with the episode. Our first stop in Copenhagen was Chart, an art fair of contemporary Nordic art held annually in Copenhagen. I hate art fairs. The only thing that's exciting about them is the smell of money. But the smell turns sour when you realize none of that money is for you. The people watching is always more interesting than the art.
I actually made a piece like this in college.
The whole thing is just an occasion for rich people to shop for fancy home decorations. Nothing but high-class kitsch. 20th century avant-garde styles tamed and domesticated for the 21st century living room. We biked to Copenhagen Contemporary, which was frankly not that much better. More kitsch, just on a bigger scale. It felt a bit like a selfie museum, though there were a few nice pieces. The main exhibition was titled Soft Robots, and many of the artists in the show had completed a residency at CERN, the world's largest particle physics laboratory.
But like, how is going to like a facility of quantum mechanics gonna help you make this? You could make this without it, I guess, just by reading on Wikipedia a little bit and getting some knowledge about the topics and doing your own research.
Yeah, getting a little high and like paying some money. Well, the shit that they're actually doing at CERN is just way more impressive than any of this.
More like art, basically. Like you're creating fucking a new universe, sort of.
Yeah.
Because expeditions used to have artists.
Yeah.
Like
expeditions. Oh yeah. You would have so like someone who would like make sketches of monkeys and shit.
Yeah, like going to also they did one in Greenland years ago where they took like a boat with artists and writers to go and like also Thomas Sarceno.
I guess that makes sense, right? You would like write poetry about how beautiful the jungle was.
But it's also going to be nice that you think that you have to spend some time bringing some painter to Greenland to sit on a boat with scientists and like do a little drawing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good though. I'm for that. If this was adequate to the research being done at CERN, like if it was an adequate aesthetic objectification of what these people are doing, cool. But this is like, okay, so the research had to do with cloud formation, and I guess like atmospheric engineering, which is really kind of scary and apocalyptic. This doesn't give me scary and apocalyptic.
It's like beautiful and meditative.
I mean, I would just say it's boring. It's not even beautiful.
I have to say, it photographs really well in this white room.
I would just say they look kind of cheap. Made with like plastic fibers. Environmental art made with like plastic fibers.
It looks good.
Through my eyes, it looks bad. Yeah, these are bad. This does feel like a freshman art student who has a budget. Anime, whatever. Robert Smithson, blah, blah, blah. You put dirt in the gallery. Radical.
I found the show underwhelming. Most of the artists' attempts to engage with science and technology were pretty superficial. This film, titled Soft Materials by artist Daria Martin, was an exception. But the show did get me thinking about the history of the relationship between art and science. I recently reread the Renaissance section of Arnold Hauser's The Social History of Art. I picked it back up because a New York art critic, Pouyan Karambeji, recently accused me of having an idea of art history that's too heavily influenced by the Romantics. He suggested reading Hauser as a corrective, but I found Hauser only affirmed my prior understanding. I'll have more to say on that in a future episode, but I did find the discussion on Renaissance science in Hauser interesting. Leon Battista Alberti, with his 1435 treatise On Painting, was the first to express the idea that mathematics is the common ground of art and the sciences. In the first section of On Painting, Alberti explains how to construct pictorial space based on mathematical principles. It is here that he articulates the methods of single-point perspective, which was a break with the divergent perspective employed by artists of the medieval and ancient world. For comparison, consider this medieval table scene, which employs multiple perspectives in a single image. The plates are depicted as if viewed from overhead, while the pitcher and glasses are depicted as if observed from the side. Around the same time that linear perspective was being employed to rationally and systematically organize space within painting, mathematics was being employed to do the same thing to describe the motion and position of bodies in the physical world. Copernicus, Bacon, and Newton advanced a series of achievements in mathematics that were able to reduce the world to causal explanations. Science and art in this period both try to comprehend the world empirically and to derive rational laws from this experience of the world. By the 1920s, however, mathematics seemed incapable of providing the kind of certainty that had ordered the world for centuries. The new ventures of physics into the atomic realm could not be made sense of in terms of classical mechanics and the laws laid down by Newton. The subjective dimension had to be accounted for. Likewise, painting dispensed with the mathematical order of linear perspective in favor of a more subjectively ordered picture of the world. Perhaps the world is not merely reducible to mathematical explanations.
I'm interrupting this beautiful episode to ask you once again to subscribe to us on Patreon. As soon as I'm done talking here, we're going to show you the Q&A discussion from our screening of Artboy 3. And for our Patreon members, we're going to be posting the entirety of the discussion, unedited, the whole thing. So if you want to see all of it, you can become a Patreon member. I'm gonna go in a few minutes. He just
Check
he hasn't
sound?
screen tested it yet, so
Oh.
he's just gonna play it. And I'm gonna
No worries.
See.
So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to zoom the letterbox in a reasonable way.
Oh, okay.
It's just gonna be that small black border
That's fine.
around.
Yeah.
The art world, but do I think that the art world is totally
I feel pretty
isolated
good about this.
from
Yeah.
political practice? Yes. And do I think it has a way back?
Stereo,
No.
we don't want the
I
dialogue
think
too harsh.
it is clear to everybody, and nobody is interested in art anymore. Yeah, so.
Thank you all for coming. Really excited to be here in Copenhagen, and this is Art Boy 3, Goodbye Art. I hope you all enjoy.
Film is kind of negative about, I mean, it's very positive about art, as I understand it, but negative about science. As in, you're not saying the world is flat, but as I'm seeing it, it's like science has made us want to rationalize everything, and when you're trying to rationalize art, you're kind of defeating the point. Do you think it's true to say that it's negative about science?
Well, I would just say that it's trying to say that science is just as subjective as everything else. That science is not a sort of objective idea of what the world is, but it's a subjective imposition onto phenomena that we make, right? Science is just like, there is no the world as it is. There is no Ding an sich. There is no in itself, as Kant would say, right? Like, that's sort of the whole Hegelian project and Marxist project, is to kind of overcome that problem. That, like, the world as we know it is just, like, the subject is the self-conscious object, and that these things are dialectically in a relationship. And so that, like, there are no atoms. There are only ideas of atoms that we, like, impose onto the world, and we conceive of the world in atoms because we want to manipulate the world in terms of atoms. Right? Yeah, there is no coronavirus or whatever, There is only, like, an idea which we want to try to manipulate, and that is the idea of the virus, so that we, like, conceive of the world in a particular way that we want to attempt to manipulate it. And so that's the maybe skepticism of science, but also the optimism that we are, like, godlike in our control over this thing, that we can determine the ideas that we're acting upon, and thereby, by determining the ideas, we determine the way that we act, and there's a kind of reciprocal relationship, so that, like, the only thing constraining our ability to change and dominate the world is the idea that we have about the world. And if we can change the idea that we have about the world, then we change the way in which we dominate it. This thing's cool. Sometimes you can't tell if it's art or trash. That one looks like art to me. I think there's too many works and therefore introducing a lot of shit. But there's a version of this that's very nice. It could also kind of be, is this a one night only thing? It could be nice to come back when nobody's here. I think when nobody's here, it would kind of look better. Oh shit.
This video by Mark Leckey is a postmodern reckoning with the history of painting. A figure crashes through a glass window. An attempt to leap out of the illusionistic space of the image and shatter the pane which separates art from the world. Yet there is no escape from the tyranny of the picture plane. The shattered glass proves to be just another part of the illusion, as the shards fall, reincorporating into the virtual space of the picture. It's turtles all the way down. Enlightenment rationalizing attempted to break the illusions and pull back the veil of mysticism and superstition. But when we lifted the veil, all we found was a mirror reflecting our own image back at us. Leckey's video elevates a delinquent youth to a romantic hero. A young man eager to feel something, even pain, without quite knowing why he's doing it. Maybe, Leckey wants to say, that romantic intuition is the only claim to legitimacy we have left. Back at Copenhagen Contemporary, there's a permanent installation by James Turrell called Aftershock. Aftershock is a so-called Gansfeld installation, part of a series of Turrell works utilizing light, space, and color. Gansfeld is a term from psychology, coined in the 1930s by the German psychologist Wolfgang Metzger, who was studying the effects of sensory overload. When exposed to an intense torrent of color, the brain starts hallucinating as it struggles to create meaning in an endless color field.
The blue was crazy. The blue, I was seeing some psychedelic
I was
shit.
feeling a lot of things in the blue color.
I was having like a psychedelic experience.
Yeah, I kind of had to like walk away because with the jet lag right now, and you know, between the bleeding and the jet lag and the James Turrell, I was like, this is too much overstimulation. It's almost like the look of the pink and the blue is so James Turrell, like Kendall Jenner, like.
I have always wanted a James Turrell, so I was really excited when I got it.
I just think of like Kanye and like Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about that Drake music video.
Yeah, Hotline Bling.
I know when the hotline bling. That could only mean one
Exactly.
thing.
You used to call me on my cell phone. Late night when you need my love.
I wish it was like other colors so I can separate my like pop culture experience from it. It did feel like a very music video.
I will say that when I got out of there, I felt like I had been through some shit. And it was like, there was almost like shame. It was like we were in there with that one other couple. And when I came out, it felt like we had all just like had an orgy or something like that. And we were all just like quietly putting our shoes back on.
Yeah.
Okay, I just came out of the James Turrell. What's the name of the piece? Did you know?
That's a good question.
I didn't see. That's not the point about it. But because it felt at moments like a church would have wanted to be, or like it felt church-like, it felt spiritual. But the thing is that like when you stand there, 8 people, you can't. If you say something, it feels weird. If you sit down, you get told upon. If you took photos, it's a problem. There's no music. There's no. I mean, I needed to be there alone to really feel what the work was about, and I don't need someone to like tell me about how to, you know, fascists like tell me how to move my body. Like you can like touch anything. You have to like this. I mean,
normally I would like this kind of work, but I didn't. I was trying to get into it.
I was just trying to yap. I couldn't shut the fuck up.
But it was like more interesting to look at the other people, because it didn't feel as immersive as I thought it would be.
I kind of felt the same. The strobe was the most immersive part, and it was actually a little too overwhelming for me. The first time the strobe happened, I kind of like walked outside.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, okay, I kind of had a little bit of a panic. I was like, oh shit, it's a little overwhelming.
Maybe that's not bad as well. Maybe that's actually, don't get me wrong, but maybe that's also interesting that it makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just in this regard, but I think, I don't know, I would love to spend like, I don't know, 1 hour sitting and talking with someone in there, kind of living inside the space, just being inside of there, like alone with a couple of friends, smoking a cigarette, just like drinking kombucha, being like, what is this world like in this space? Instead of standing there as like, I don't know, like victims.
We all had the experience of wanting the art to give us more. It left us unsatisfied, yet in a way that I think is productive. Turrell's work showed us a glimmer of another world, a world which we all wanted to inhabit. Yet reality kept creeping in. Pedestrian details, subtle annoyances, and institutional guardrails pulled us back into the dullness of our quotidian existence. We wanted the art to envelop us. We wanted art to become our life. But it can't. Art cannot become life without ceasing to be art. The best art can be is a picture of potential.